Yo, what's going on, Lakers fans? Today, let's talk about the Lakers free agency signing who's been all the rave right now, Jake LaRavia. As usual, I'll break down his general player profile and then I'll get into his strengths and weaknesses. So with that said, after you guys like this video, comment down below and hit subscribe, let's get into the Lakers' promising new forward. Jake LaRavia is 23 years old, so he is actually younger than Dalton Knecht by a couple of months. He is a tweener small forward power forward who is 6'8" in height. He also has a 6'9" 9.5 wingspan, and he weighs 236 pounds. He played 3 years in college, 2 years for Indiana State, and 1 year for Wake Forest, where he had career averages of 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, on 52% from the field and 37% from 3, knocking down 1.5 threes a game. He is the former number 19 pick of the 2022 NBA draft by the Minnesota Timberwolves and then was traded to the Memphis Grizzlies shortly after. Last season, through 66 games with both the Memphis Grizzlies and the Sacramento Kings, Jake LaRavia averaged 7 points, 4 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 1 steal, 0.3 blocks, on 47% from the field and 42% from 3, knocking down 0.9 threes a game, doing all of that in 20 minutes per game. His best season in the NBA came during the 2023-24 season, in which he averaged 10.8 points, 3.7 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 0.8 steals, 0.3 blocks, on 39% from the field, 34% from 3, knocking down 1.5 threes a game. In his career, Jake LaRavia has started a total of only 6 games, but in those 6 games, he has averages of 20.7 points, 3.8 rebounds, 3 assists, on 47% from the field, 44% from 3, knocking down 3.3 threes a game, and shooting 88% from the stripe. Alright, now with his general specs out of the way, let's get into his game. Offensively, Jake LaRavia is a versatile utility player with great size who can do a little bit of everything. On the ball, at his size, he's somewhat of a bucket. He's not the fastest player, he doesn't have the craziest shake, but he does have some real on-ball juice and fluidity to his game, where he can string together a pretty impressive combo of dribbles, crossovers, and spin moves to get to his spots on the floor, rise up, and then score. Even though he's not the quickest player, he plays with good pace and craft and knows how to leverage those things, along with his solid handles, to snake his way through defenses and keep them off balance. And for a guy who's 6'8" to be moving, spinning, and crossing over like that, it's really quite impressive. Related to putting the ball on the floor, Jake LaRavia is also very adept at attacking closeouts, catching guys off guard with a quick first step, and then fluidly and craftily knifing his way into the paint by either muscling his way to the rim or creatively and acrobatically finishing. He's got good touch and flexibility in the paint, and he's able to put up some surprisingly nifty and nimble finishes at the rim for someone his size. He's also got a pretty nice, smooth turnaround fadeaway jump shot game that he likes to go to in the mid-range, and because of his nice size and frame, once he puts the ball on the floor, he's never really trapped in no man's land, because he can slow things down, back defenders down, and then take his time setting people up for that nice turnaround J. And because he's 6'8", with a high release point, he can easily shoot over defenders unbothered. Off the ball, he's a good connective off-ball player with great roaming instincts. He's always endlessly route running all across the floor to give his teammates an open moving target to throw the ball to. You can usually catch him sprinting up and down the baseline, diving into open spaces in the paint, and looking for the gaps in the defense to capitalize on some easy buckets. And then obviously as a three-point shooter, he's a great catch and shoot player who's actually coming off his best catch and shoot three-point shooting year by percentage, knocking down 43.9% of his catch and shoot threes. Just as he does with his cutting to the rim, he does a great job roaming the perimeter and relocating out to the three-point line and giving his teammates a perimeter outlet to throw the ball to. And while I wouldn't call him an elite movement three-point shooter, he is a pretty good one, and the Sacramento Kings would often run him off screens to get him good looks at threes. And because of his size, he can get those shots off pretty easily, and he does have a really nice high release point. It is pretty fluid and effective overall. He's also not a bad pull-up off the dribble three-point shooter as well, knocking down 35% of his pull-up threes. And thanks to his high arcing shot and general bucket tendencies, he's been able to flip up some pretty wild and impressive behind the back dribble threes, step back fadeaway threes, and some what are you doing, why are you taking that threes as well. He's also a very solid rebounder and a very good transition player with the ball in his hands. He's a particularly good grab-and-go guy who you can trust to initiate the offense in transition on the fly, whether it's taking it all the way to the cup himself or throwing hit-ahead passes to teammates for easy buckets. He just knows how to keep the offensive pace of the game zippy and frenetic at all times. To that same end, Jake LaRavia has got some nice playmaking chops as well. And overall, he's an underrated playmaker, both as a connective passer and as an on-ball secondary creator. He's just got an overall good feel for the game, of knowing where to swing the ball to. He's got natural zip and accuracy to his passes when hitting cutting teammates or driving and kicking out to three-point shooters. He keeps things simple, keeps the ball moving, and makes the right reads in the flow of the game. And then sometimes, because he's such a solid ball handler, he can break a defense down and then showcase a little bit of razzle-dazzle as well. It's clear that he grew up as an on-ball primary creator who eventually became more of a small forward, power forward type. Alright, so we are at the halfway point of this video, and if you have liked what you've seen so far, and you like the way that I break down and consolidate this film, then please do me a favor and like this video, comment down below, and hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Alright, now let's talk about Jake LaRavia's defense, because defensively, he's a scrappy hustler with a very good motor who's always looking to muck things up. He's got extremely active hands, he's always swiping down, angling for the steal, looking to surprise offensive players by jumping passing lanes, then taking it all the way down the court himself. In that sense, he's a great offense to defense chaos agent who can really get your team jump-started in transition. He's also a very engaged and aware team defender whose head is always on a swivel. He's always looking to dig, dive in, and help his teammates out, and he generally knows where to be on the court positionally at all times, and within a team defense scheme, you can rely on him to be a strong link in the chain who will hold up his end of the bargain. When it comes to his on-ball man-to-man defense, he's got some nice mobility and strength. He can defend ball handling guards at the point of attack in a pinch, and use his body to be physical and make life difficult for opposing players on different drives. He's particularly good against wings, using his mobility to shadow them across the court pretty well, and then most of all, he knows how to use his frame and physicality to bump them off their spots and force them into bad jump shots. Now, while he's not a rabid lockdown defender, he does have very good positional versatility and can even hold big men off in the paint, fight for positioning well, and competently be a deterrent down low on switches. And then at other times, he can also pick up 90 feet of the court, hound a point guard, and stifle their ability to run the offense smoothly or get a good shot. And overall, you just appreciate Jake LaRavia's overall competitiveness, physicality, and engagement. Now, when it comes to his weaknesses, defensively, he's not so mobile to the point where you can have him lock down some of the speediest guards in the league, because if you don't have enough backline help for him, quicker, zippier guards will be able to easily blow past him. He's also not an uber athlete, so more athletic, lankier, and physical players will be able to take advantage of him. Likewise, offensively, he can struggle against those same stronger players with length, especially when he drives to the basket. And then at other times, he can also get himself into trouble with over-dribbling, knifing into the paint, not getting separation, and then picking up his dribble. Shooting-wise, his three-point shot can come and go. He has a tendency to settle for that shot too much. And overall, he still needs to prove that he can be a consistent volume three-point shooter. Because as of now, Dalton Knecht is definitely the purer shooter with the quicker release. But yeah, Jake LaRavia's weaknesses are what you probably thought they'd be. He's not an elite athlete, he's not an elite defender, and he's not an elite shooter. But he is okay to pretty good at everything. Now, when it comes to NBA player comps from the lower end of the spectrum, I kind of see him as a slightly shorter version of Tristan da Silva of the Orlando Magic, a versatile offensive player who can do a little bit of everything, and then defensively, he's just always in the right positions, even though he's not uber explosive. I can also see some Jaime Jaquez in him as well. Maybe he's the better three-point shooting version of Jaime Jaquez, but the two-way versatility and size are definitely there. To that same end, I can also see shades of a taller, better shooting Evan Turner because of the length and frame that Jake LaRavia possesses, along with the crafty way he snakes into the lane to play make for himself and others. As far as higher-end aspirational comps go, given Jake LaRavia's defensive grit and hustle, I kind of hope that he can be the Lakers' version of Christian Braun from the Denver Nuggets. Just a tough dude on defense who won't back down, and then on offense, he's the perfect connector piece who can knock down an open shot, run the floor, and then also primary create in a pinch. And then to a similar end, if his three-point shot and pull-up shooting really come together and he's really able to hit his upside as a bucket, I could also see him becoming a slightly less athletic Gordon Hayward type. But yeah, with that said, that's Jake from State Farm LaRavia for you. He's a true Jake of all trades, master of none type forward on both ends of the floor who, at his floor, can be a perfectly suitable plug-and-play role player on any team, but at his ceiling could also be a surprising bucket getter who can get hot and turn into a perennial 16-point, 6-rebound, 3-assist type of well-rounded fringe starter level player for you as well. So maybe we should call him Jake from Starter Farm LaRavia. Anyways, what do you guys think about Jake in the box? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, comment down below, and most importantly, please hit subscribe. This has been Jonathan Hernandez of the Lakers Legacy Podcast, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.